Yeah, so I'm standing around in this kind of wave defense opening early phase thing in a map that's not going anywhere anyway, but that's fine, because what we wanted to talk about was this electric furnace patch iron smelting setup that's pretty common in a variety of wave defense plans. Substations aren't that common, it's fine. I do this I set all of this up before doing any combat, which means I don't have mining productivity, which ends up being relevant for some of this, because, yeah, while I'm setting up other stuff, and because I don't have particularly good routing, it's entirely possible that these furnaces will fill up with full stacks of plate before I get around to emptying them, which is kind of bad, but also I kind of don't mind, because as long as I get back before they fill up with iron ore, I'm not missing out any mining time, because especially without mining productivity, these electric furnaces will work through the iron ore faster than the miners will deliver it. So I'm losing smelting time, there's another 13 or so iron ore that could be plates that I could have, but I'm not losing any mining time from this patch setup here. Okay, I've got more miners here, I'm losing mining time over here, that's fine. We need to put more belts down and turn this into another half lane of iron. Other than that, for these guys here, and then, yeah, that's kind of the theme of doing the stone furnace thing as well. I think the stone furnace thing started when in a run where I realized that I needed to build steel because that was important for that part of the plan, but had forgotten to make steel furnaces. So just did this with stone furnaces. And then, yeah, we need to get a belt in here, but we'll just, like, fuel this manually for demonstration purposes. The thing I decided I quite liked about doing this with stone furnaces first and then with an upgrade is I don't have to be quite so precise about when I build when I handcraft the steel furnaces. I only need to make those steel furnaces because I've also used all of the initial steel furnaces to get this initial line of iron online as fast as possible with as little stuff as possible. So handcrafting more of these is a thing that is also kind of unique to this plan as far as wave defense goes. But it also extends the time in which I don't have to visit these electric furnaces without losing mining time, because some portion of these plates end up being, some but not all of these plates are cooked into steel by these stone furnaces, until I get around to doing this upgrade, and then none of this iron builds up. And yeah, that's a thing I quite like, that I kind of adjusted in my plan as to accommodate having bad routing, to have all of the production still happening while not necessarily having good routing, and also just having some amount of steel. But I don't need that much steel at the beginning. I need still mostly iron. But yeah, we'll continue to run wave defense. We'll continue to, like, make little adjustments and things like this. I guess the other thing to mention that's not super important is this substation is carefully lined up to only intersect the miners at one tile, partly because that's what I need to do, but partly also because I know that from having lined this up before, a belt on the other side of the substation will perfectly line up with this little pattern here that I got from someone else, but that's fine. So several times there'll be runs where I haven't built any of this stuff yet, and I will have, yeah, okay, you guys are getting all the wood out of that stuff, that's fine, whatever. Yeah, so even if I'm just building, at the point where I'm building the patch smelting and putting the substation down to power it all, if I can run the belt of coal here, if the map is such that the coal needs to go past the iron, putting it directly one side past the substation is a nice trick that will, yeah, do... I only need half a belt of this, I don't need a whole lot, but putting the coal exactly here will mean that when I do this trick with furnaces to make steel, the coal is exactly in the place that I need it to. So if I had my smelting further down here and this was part of the coal feed to the smelting, that's a nice little setup that I can do ahead of time. And then also, yeah, if I make sure that the inserters are on the inside relative to, this sort of bank of smelters, then they're all also just powered by the substation for free, which is also like a nice little plan that I like. It's a thing that's come together that makes me feel pretty good about using a substation here, even if I don't necessarily feel good about adjusting all of these plans to accommodate for the fact that I'm not very good at running backwards and forwards past these smelters to pick up all the plates when I need them. But it's fine. Yeah, sure, we're going well.